So I've got this cart loaded with, let's see, 5 buckets of walnut husk full of husk and maggots and all sorts of goodness. This whole thing of mocker nut hickory that are pretty old and a little bit of food waste. We've got to get this thing all the way down this trail, around past there. Let's see, I'm gonna walk over here so we can get a clear view because we kind of have to turn. All the way down, across the creek there, past the outhouse, past the barn, back up the hill, up to the chicken coop, which is up there. So this is one of the downsides to the coop being all the way up there. The upside is that it was free. The coop was already built. The other thing, in an emergency, you know, the bridge is out, but in an emergency, I could drive through the creek. I've done it once or twice before. I don't like to do it. It's a little bit sketchy, but it certainly works if we need to get over there. So I know I made a video at some point where I included these animals and I talked a little bit about them, kind of introduced them, but then I haven't talked about them since. And things have been busy, but animal plans are progressing. You can see the chickens here going crazy for the husk maggots that are inside of these black walnut husks that I've distributed in here. I gotta say, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite things about black walnut. I already loved them so much, and that's not what this video is about, but boy, watching these chickens go in here and dig this apart, getting their beaks all in that black walnut, going after the husk maggots, it's just fun. It's just so fun. But anyway, I wanted to talk more about the animals. You can see the pigs over here. They are crunching down on some food waste and some weeds from the garden and some hickory nuts. And I'm sitting here in the enclosure, just watching everything that's going on here behind me, underneath the shade of this nice sycamore tree. There we go. So I'll just recap a little bit what's going on. I think Corey and Kara had somewhere around 12 chickens and a rooster, something like that. One of them got killed by a snake. The rest of them are still here. Again, it might be 10, it might be 13, but somewhere around 12. I had 6 chickens that a friend of mine gave me. They were about, so Corey and Kara's chickens, they got them this spring. They're like 6 months old. I got a few 3-year-old chickens from some friends, some laying hens. I think I got about 6 of them, like I said. They're all integrated in here well. You can see the rooster here behind me. And then those are Corey and Kara's 2 pigs back there that they've had also since spring. Now the plan was, and still sort of is, the plan was that we were going to get all these animals out on pasture by the end of summer, which has now come and passed. You can see we're still in the coop, so that has not happened. We have been putting a lot of hay down in here to try to, prevent over compaction and destruction of the soil under this tree. That's what we can get into that more in a bit. But the biggest thing that's changed is that Corey and Kara are moving. And so when we were going to get the animals on pasture, we were going to get more pigs and more chickens, get all the infrastructure to get more of them, put them all on pasture together. That is significantly on hold because Corey and Kara are moving. So this was going to be a joint thing between me and them. It can't be a joint thing if they're not here. So we've had to adjust. These are their 2 pigs. They're going to butcher them this fall, some for Thanksgiving, some to put in the freezer. That is all, 100% their operation. I've been enjoying hanging out with the pigs and feeding them, but those are their pigs. Now, I fully support what they're doing with the pigs. I just say that, I've never butchered a pig before. I don't really eat a whole lot of pork myself, so I just telling a little bit about myself more is really what I'm trying to convey there. My interest is mainly in the chickens because I eat a lot of chicken myself, and I'd like to be more involved with the process of raising the birds and just being around them, giving them the best quality of life that I can before they feed me. I'd like to feed them before they feed me, basically. So here's where we're at now. We have this existing structure. We inherited this with the land. The previous owner built this coop and this little fenced-in structure. Corey and Kara have done a lot of work to clear out some of the brambles and repair this structure, repair the fence a little bit. The pigs and the chickens did the rest of the weeding and clearing out of all the undergrowth. And this is a fully functional space. It's just really far from the house, like I'll show in a minute here. And so coming up to visit the chickens, coming up to bring them all of this walnut husk, coming up to bring them food waste, coming up to bring hay. It's doable, but it's an extra challenge to get it all the way up here. There's no way, realistically, for me to bring my truck over here on a regular basis. I have to cross the creek because the bridge is out. The tractor can come up here, so that's okay. But it's not my tractor. If you're not aware, I rent this place. I rent my, my living situation, my house that I'm in, and the space for the nursery from some friends of mine who own this property. It's a group of them came together and bought this as a cooperative, or as a group of friends, basically. And they have a tractor, they own the tractor. It's not mine, so it's not like I can just go use it whenever I need. If there's big projects that we need the tractor, we kind of coordinate so that we can all use it, but it's not something that I'm really want to be in the habit of using every day to come and bring stuff to the chickens and the pigs, but it is there. And so what's been shaping up for a while is that I would like to get to a point where these animals are closer to the house. The pigs are going to be gone soon, so that's out of the picture. It's really just I want at least my 6 chickens to be closer to the house. It's unclear whether the new place that Corey and Kara are moving to is going to enable them or allow them to bring their chickens with them. So if they're not able to bring them, I will also likely be taking care of their chickens here, the whole flock. But at a minimum, I'm going to have my 6, and I would like to get them closer to the house. I'll also splice in some footage. I ordered more chicks because these are all laying hens, which I would like to keep for the length of their life to continue laying eggs for me and for friends and that sort of thing. And I'd also like to, like I said, I eat a lot of chicken meat. So I've got a whole new bunch of birds that are chicks right now, just little itty bitty chicks. And they are going to need a place to go as well. Again, hopefully close to the house. Now it's fall. This is my busiest time of year. There is just a ton of stuff going on in the nursery and all related to trees. And so I have intentions to build a new chicken enclosure up by the house. I've got some ideas. I'm still kind of finalizing what I want to do. That may or may not happen, or I would say it's definitely going to happen. The time frame, I don't know what it's going to be like. And so for now, I'm very happy to have this structure. I could bring the meat birds up in here. There's plenty of space. Once the pigs are gone, I think all the birds would integrate pretty well as long as we do it at the right age, and they can all hang out up in here. There's just a ton of pasture space. It's all bare right now because there's been pigs and chickens in here, arguably for longer than way longer than I would like, impacting. You can see this rooster's a little spooked. He thinks I'm chasing him. Impacting this area in a negative way. But I think that once the pigs are gone, if we can get a lot of carbon in here, if I do have to keep the chickens in here, we'll get a bunch of carbon, hay, wood chips, that sort of stuff, really cover this ground. And I think that this will be a very nice enclosure for them. We can provide a lot of stimulation, sprouted grains. We can start bringing in lots more food waste. I think this could be a really nice place for them. It's just that it's so far from the house. Additionally, we just had Hurricane Helene rock the southeast, especially up in the mountains where we are. We got lucky. We were far east enough that the storm really didn't do any significant damage here. But future storms could. And like I said, the bridge is out. We can walk over it, but we can't drive anything over it. It wouldn't take that big of a storm to knock that bridge all the way out. Then I have no way to even walk over here to take care of the birds. And so that is just another reason that I want to get these birds moved closer to the house. So we'll see. This is kind of just giving you guys an update on what the animals are doing right now, what some of my intentions are. You can see these guys going to town on all these weeds out of the garden and whatnot. Pigs have more than enough hickory nuts to feed them, just a ton. I've been giving them all sorts of acorns and whatnot. I've been taking little clips here and there over the past few weeks, month or so, of, eating food waste, eating acorns, all that sort of stuff. So I'll try to splice some other videos in. I guess this video might be getting kind of long. The thing I want to end with, we talked a little bit about what this space could be. A lot of my chicken inspiration comes from Sean over at Edible Acres. Not that it's just Sean, there's many others involved, Sean and Sasha and Juan, and I'm sure a whole community of other folks that are involved around there. But yeah, Edible Acres, if you are not familiar, you can check their channel out. They do a lot of really cool work with their laying hens. I think they have somewhere around 80 or so birds in an enclosure, somewhat similar to this, with all sorts of food and stimulation. There's food waste, there's sprouted grains, there's perennials dropping food into the enclosure, all that sort of stuff. Lots of carbon on the ground. That's what I'd like to do. I'm feeling, when I was originally making these plans with Corey earlier in the summer, I was thinking meat birds will do what everyone does. We'll build a chicken tractor. You know, they have space in the tractor. You just move them onto fresh pasture every day. I think that's fine. You know, I get most of my chicken from the farmer's market these days, and farmer's market chicken, that's how people are doing it. Cornish cross in the chicken tractors. It's better than what you can get from the store. Flip this camera around so you guys can look at the animals instead of my face while they're scratching all this up. But I just feel like, you know, those chicken tractors, it's still more confined than I would like. You know, what I don't like about this is that we've over impacted. This is not good. We've got bare ground. We're really not doing anything good for the soil here. But I think with a lot of carbon and with the pigs out, that could change. You know, when you're in a chicken tractor, the nice thing is you can move them to fresh ground every day. But this is much more space for the chickens to run around and explore different things and kind of free feed on stuff, as opposed to just a tractor moving across grass that is relatively short to enable the tractor to move over it. So I'm inclined to maybe build something like this, you know, just closer to the house. Like I said, give them a real run where we can really give them a nice way to live. Space to run around, carbon to soak up the manure and the urine. I guess with birds, it kind of all comes out as one, not as two separate things. But anyway, listen to that crunch. Hickory nuts. The other thing is, you know, we are going to have to think about, we're going to lose these leaves. So we're going to lose a lot of our aerial cover from flying predators. We're going to lose the pigs because they're going to become food, and they are deterrents for a lot of our four-legged predators. And so the predator, I'm really anticipating the predator pressure is going to change up here, or if I do a new coop down at the house. Things are just going to be different over the winter. So we're just going to have to see what happens and deal with that as it comes. But anyway, I probably ought to get back to working on some other tasks. I could spend all day up here just watching these animals eat and talking to you guys about ideas, but eventually we got to actually start doing stuff to make that all happen. So I'm going to get back to it. Like I said, there'll be other footage spliced in here. This might not be the actual end of the video, but this is the end of this recording session. And, you know, if you got questions, let me know. If you're doing something similar, I'd love to hear about it, or something different, you know. This is all, like I said, very subject to change. This is just kind of an update on where we're at with the animals. Like I said, very much not ideal, but temporary. This is changing. Don't want to keep impacting a landscape like this, and we won't. Very soon, things are going to change. As the pigs getting out is a really big thing, and we've got, I don't know if you can see, I've already got one bale of hay. I'm going to try to get another few bales and get those spread probably this weekend in here, really change up how this is looking. So